Hey guys, and welcome back to Mika Reaction Reviews, react and review to things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, different video. And today we are returning to My Daddy in My Head, Dr. Jordan Peterson. And we're gonna be reacting to a video. It says to Dr. Jordan Peterson destroys Tom Ballard. I believe this is just a news anchor or some sort of person who does interviews with people. But I'm probably gonna title this video, Dr. Jordan Peterson destroys whiny progressive ideologies or whiny progressives. I did watch like a minute of this just to see what it was about because I didn't know who Tom Ballard was, but it says destroy in the title, so I was like, I have to see who is he destroying and how and why. So we're gonna get right into it. But before we do, if you like these type of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal me link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. It helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here you go.
Or obliterating people, and they get a lot of views. So if you could destroy me in this interview, we'd really appreciate it.
You like that?
Yeah, not a lot of people watch our show.
I can't guarantee it, but we'll see what happens.
Do you ever watch those videos when you're feeling down about yourself? Do you just watch those videos and go, yes, I destroyed that person.
No,
I ruled.
no.
Come on.
No, that doesn't happen.
Let's talk about your book.
Okay.
It's 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. There it is. Now, you've connected a lot with a lot of young men, lots of different people, but young men particularly seem to, find something in your message. I'm a young man. I'd like to be improved, please.
Yeah.
I want to stop being a pathetic weasel. Yeah,
that would be good. Are you a pathetic weasel?
Well, I'd like
you seem to be doing all right.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, well, so you're not as pathetic as you might be.
Rule 1 is stand up straight with your shoulders back. Yeah. I have terrible posture.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Maybe you have a good tailor and he's like shouldered up your suit nicely.
Are you flirting with me, Dr. Peterson?
Well, not intentionally. You are very attractive, though.
I feel so great. I'm 28 years old, I can't cook.
Yeah.
Tried to quit smoking about 6 times, rarely exercise, regularly use recreational drugs.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian who ordered butter chicken on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Haven't been in a relationship that lasted longer than a year since 2011. Hate my job. Never remember anyone's birthday. Still renting. Don't know what Bitcoin is. Haven't read a full book since 2012.
Yeah.
Including yours.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Oh, if I would have known that, I would have never showed up for the interview.
Which part?
The whole thing. It's just a mess.
It's fucking weasel. It is. Pathetic weasel.
Yeah. There's no excuse. There's no hope for you, I'm afraid.
You're big on people cleaning their room.
Clean up your room. I don't know how you can go out and protest the structure of the entire economic system if you can't keep your room organized.
I don't clean my room, but I do pay someone to clean my room. Does that still count? Yeah,
well, it's a metaphor, obviously, and the thing is, it's not that easy to put your room in order. It actually requires a lot of thought. You have to think about your closet, all right? What should you be wearing? Where are you going to put everything? You have to think about how you want your room organized so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do in there, so that the room compels that or at least allows it to happen. And if you do it right, you learn a lot. And the thing that's interesting about it is you can actually do it. Most people have a room. It's like, there's a place to start, man. It's a little corner of the world that's actually under your control.
There. All right, so it does seem like this interviewee or interviewer actually has a, good personality or good spirit about it. Like, he's being a good sport about the interview, and he's not coming out for Dr. Jordan Peterson's throat like a lot of other previous interviews before and after this one. We'll see how the interview progressed, but it seems like he's a good sport about it, being tongue-in-cheek with Dr. Jordan Peterson. I wish, I felt like Dr. Jordan Peterson was flirting with me. I like older men, okay, and I like intelligent men. He kind of ran off a list, the interviewer ran off down a list about all the things that he hasn't accomplished. He's 28, and to have a job like this, I think that is an accomplishment in itself. At the same time, I do think that individuals should to define what accomplished is personally to them, because not everybody wants the same thing. I'm a certain age and I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't have a house, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have a car, I don't have stock, I don't have Bitcoin, I don't have a retirement fund, I don't have a will. I don't have a lot of things that society would put on you and say well, you're a loser or you're a failure because you don't have all these things. I dropped out of college 3 times. At the same time, I travel the world, I work for myself, I'm an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? I make my own money, and coming from the childhood that I have, I beat a lot of stereotypes. And so I do feel like people shouldn't be so hard on themselves just because they're their idea of success doesn't match to society or your parents or your friends or your lovers or your brothers or whatever, Instagram, social media's idea of success is. But going past that, they're about to hit on the whole clean your room thing, and of course it's a metaphor, but at the same time, if you just take it literally, every time I travel to a different place, I always purge. Like, I lay out everything that I have and I see what I need and what I don't need, and it's so freaking therapeutic. And I used to hate doing that before I started traveling. Now I love purging, and it makes you really realize like what's important to you, what you don't need, what you really need, and just make you realize like you don't actually need a lot of shit in the first place, and it just simplifies your life so you can really focus on what's important or what's real to you. You know what I mean? So even like literally, I still think it's a good idea to sit down and get your life and get your home and your room in order and organized, whether it's one room or a whole freaking house or an apartment. But of course he means metaphorically. It's like the whole put on your mask first before you help anybody else on a plane the idea. And sort of like, how can you sit there and act like you can change the entire system, change policies, deconstruct society and culture to build it back up when you don't have your own shit together. You know what I mean? When your fucking life's a mess. Now, I'm not saying that people need to be saints to be able to help people. You can find wisdom in a homeless person. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, get your shit together and get your own, like, get your mind, your body, like your mental state, your psychological state, your emotional state, your physical state in order. Because a lot of these, like, crazy protesting writer progressive leftists are fucking batshit crazy. Like, they have mental problems, like something's wrong with them, and because they get themselves in these really radical groups, their mental problem isn't actually ever brought up to surface and really discussed because everybody around them is mental. So like, get your shit together before you try to start helping other people. Anyway, let's get back into
See what you can do with it.
What are the limits of that idea though? Because you can have a lovely clean room, but if for my generation, we're looking down the barrel of climate change, we can't afford a house, some people can't get work, university education's unaffordable. Like, there are these huge, massive problems in society and the political economy that are also going to, screw us over in the big picture that the clean room isn't going to necessarily fix.
If you're going to fix complicated problems, you have to learn how to fix simple problems first. Then you get good at it. I'm not saying that young people don't have things to be concerned about, because life is a concern, right? I mean, life is a fatal disease. It's a concern. You're not on top of it. There's always more challenge than you can take on in some sense. But complaining about the structure of being and attempting to reorganize massive social structures, especially when you don't know the first thing about them, which is generally the case, is just not advisable. And the universities, they teach young kids, young people, 19, 20 years old, that they should be out attempting to rectify massive social organizations. It's like, you wouldn't go and try to fix a cruise ship. Things are complicated. You can't set your own room in order. You can't set your own family, your life in order. What the hell makes you think you're ready to take on something like the political system? That's hard. You're going to mess it up, man, for sure.
I feel like now's a good time to let you know that the ABC is the home of postmodernism and neo-Marxist thought. And I've just got our equity and diversity plan here.
Oh, I see. That's nice. You've got a little hammer and sickle on there, and that's quite cute.
The ABC's equity and diversity plan for 2016 to 2018 has targets of 50% women senior executives and 20% women technologists. Mm-hmm. Is that bad?
Yeah.
Why? Because
the game of dividing human beings up by their group identity ends in disaster, no matter who plays it and no matter what the reasons are. That doesn't mean that, in principle it might, perhaps, who the hell knows? I don't know the internal workings of ABC. Maybe it would be better if 20% of the women were technologists. Maybe it's a radically misogynist organization. I tend to doubt it, but perhaps it is, and perhaps that should be rectified. But these sorts of quotas, they're a terrible idea for 50 different reasons.
What about looking back over history? You've written the idea that women were oppressed throughout history is an appalling theory. They haven't had a great time, though, have they?
Who has had a great time in history?
But men have had less of a
Really? Have
time.
they? Have they? By what standard? By what standard?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're a woman...
How about war?
But it took longer for women to get the vote, and women belong to their husbands, and in this country, one woman dies every week from domestic violence, a man dies like once a month, I believe, from that same cause. Like, aren't there some clearly obvious things that women are victim of as a result of their gender?
There are inequalities in the catastrophes that the genders are subject to. And so, look, first of all, there's some things we got to get straight. History is a rough business. Everybody had it rough. in 1895, the typical Westerner lived on less than $1 a day, which is absolute poverty by today's standards, right? And so people were brutally poor for almost the entire course of human history. It was rough. You say, well, did men or women have it worse? It's like, well, you know, that's a complicated question. But one of the things you can say is everybody had it pretty damn bad.
Okay, stopping it there. So going back to the equity instead of equality thing, equity is basically something like, what is equity? I guess the way equity is explained to me is, you know, let's say you have a basketball, maybe this is a really bad example, but let's say you have a basketball team, and instead of hiring the best basketball players, you just try to have equal men and women, and then you lower the standards of the skills of basketball just so women can be able to keep up with the men of basketball, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained that right, but equity isn't really good. You should basically be hiring the best for the job, the best for the position, not someone who fits a label or ideology. You know what I mean? If you want, you know, you want like 50% firefighters, men and women, but if the women can't drag a 300-pound man out of the burning building, then what is the point of having that female on the firefighter team? You know what I mean? Or the same thing for police officers, the same thing for military. You don't want to lower the intellectual or experience or capability standards of a job or position just so you can fill a label, so you can just fill some sort of equity label. You want the best person for the job, so you have the best service, the best products, the best ideas, the best innovation. If that's going to be a man or a woman, it just shouldn't matter. It should just be for the best person for the position. Now, again, like Dr. Jordan Peterson said, if there's like obvious misogyny or obvious racist or homophobia going on, that should be rectified. But if women are simply not getting those positions because they're not the best for the position, they shouldn't get the position then. Same thing for men, same thing for black people, same thing for gay people, whatever. The best person should get the position. Now he's talking about feminism or inequality between men and women throughout the history. Dr. Jordan Peterson have talked about this at length, and I totally agree with him that history has showed us that both men and women had it rough. They both had it rough, they just had it rough differently, right? And the difference is that society very much recognizes the hardships and the oppression of women and kind of ignores and push under the rug the oppression and the hardships of men, because things like most presidents were male, most CEOs are male, most billionaires are male, and so they make it seem like because of that, that means all men have it so much easier than women, when those men, presidents, CEOs, billionaires, are the 1% of the 1%, the elite of the elite. They are not all men. So you stop throwing all men into that bubble, into that gilded cage. They don't belong there. Most men are down here with the rest of us, just trying to survive and just trying to figure shit out, right? And so, yeah, there have been oppression and hardships with women, but the same thing for men. So let's just recognize both genders, both sexes have had uphill battles throughout the history of America and throughout the history of this world. All right, let's continue.
And apart from the pure catastrophe of existence that was shared, say, more or less equally between the genders, like most of the time, men and women helped each other. Like women raised their sons, you know, husbands protected their families. I'm not buying this whole, the sexes have been at each other's throats the entire history of mankind. It's like, no, wrong. And then one level deeper than that, I don't like the whole game. The whole game is, let's divide people into groups and contrast their oppression. It's like, fine, play it, see what happens. You're not going to like it. We did that in the 20th century, right? The right-wingers played it in Nazi Germany, and left-wingers played it throughout the communist world. And all that happened was that we stacked up the corpses, millions of them. It's not a good game. The equity game, that's a bad game.
Bad game?
Bad game.
You don't want to read this just to be sure?
If it says equity, it's a bad game. Because it means equality of outcome.
Right.
Like equality of opportunity, anybody with any sense is for that.
Okay. For my bosses watching, I have read this, and I fully endorse its message, and will continue the crusade, comrades.
Who did the little cover design?
Michelle Guthrie.
No.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Thank you.
Very funny.
Dr. Peterson, we're out of time. Thank you for destroying me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the interview.
Of course. Enjoy your time in Australia.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm still gonna title this video Destroy, but I would say that that was actually a respectful conversation. Okay, so equity, he explained it a little bit better. Okay, so I ran out of battery, so I had to adjust a little bit. But anyway, Dr. Joy Peterson actually explained equity a little bit better, which was the equality of outcome instead of the equality of opportunity, giving everyone equal opportunity to make them, to better their lives in some way. But the equality of outcome, someone explained it to me, and maybe this metaphor would be a little bit better. It's like, let's say that there's two neighbors. One neighbor saved up enough money to buy a cow, and that cow produces milk, and with that milk he can make cheese and yogurt. He can feed his family, and then he can take the cheese and the yogurt and the milk and he can sell it and make more money and enrich his family even better. But his neighbor just has milk. And so the government comes down and says, hey, because of white supremacy or oppression or inequality, it's not fair that you have more than your neighbor. So they take your cow away from you and just give both of you milk. So now you're equal. You're equally as poor, and you're equally as fucked, and you're equally as dependent on the government, but you're equal. But you're equal. So, I mean, that kind of explains socialism a bit more than equality of outcome. But basically, it just denies the idea that people are going to be better than you. People are going to be more privileged than you. People are going to be born in better situations than you. People are going to be smarter than you, wiser than you, cleverer than you, more attractive than you, more athletic, more taller than you, more funnier than you. People are going to like someone better than they like you. People are always going to be better. You cannot try to force every outcome to be equal unless you just want to take people's rights away and create socialism. Anyway, guys, I thought that was a good interview. Like I said, I thought the interviewer was a really good sport about it. He was, having a little fun with Dr. Joy Peterson, playing tongue-in-cheek. Let me know what you think of the interview, what Dr. Joy Peterson said, what I said in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. It helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. And I also have a second travel vlog channel. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, I travel as a lifestyle or I live abroad, go in the description box below, hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date, and you guys have an amazing day.